But I guess we're not prolonging that intro any further as we'll be heading on to the draft. Again, this is our first series for the week 2 of the North Luzon group stages for the Icon Series Philippines. On the blue side, you can see Action PH. Red side, Galaxy RAZER. Braum is still getting a ban. A prio ban in here, Riku. Still respected.
I like this change. I like the switch up. Normally, you usually maybe ban out something else, maybe the Fiora, maybe the Camille. But of course, you don't want to ban that. You are on blue side. But now we're seeing an Akali ban. They do not want to see that on Ikaros' side. So might as well leave a bunch of things open. Now, will they ban out Galio? That is the biggest question. They're still going to ban out Galio. That means a possible first pick Camille.
Whoa, still respected. Galio in the bans, despite, getting a little bit of nerfs coming from the most recent patch. And I like the prio on the Camille. Again, Camille, a real good setter for as long as she is part of the fight. And he can actually change the momentum of the game. You can just follow up all her targets and then just bring it on. But we'll see about that because Ikaros is thinking about something else. Maybe just trying to stop the Camille from wanting to do her thing. What do you think about that, Riku?
Yeah, I think, whenever we'd see the Gragas, we'd always say, hey, that's a really good flex pick. We've seen the Gragas played by Chule last time in the mid lane. So it is possible for JC as well, considering the fact that it does sort of fit well into this playstyle, even though we see him most of the time on that carry position. But now, that's the Lux being locked down, and as well as the Corki, this is a lot of poke coming from Action.
Definitely, and I'm actually wondering if they're still going to be doing that 1-2-1 rotation or laning phase in the early stages of the game, because that's the usual trend that we've been seeing. If the team is actually making use of a utility support, then they're going to be placing the duo tandem in the middle lane. So we'll see about that. It is for us to explore as well in the high competitive scene like this. But for the meantime, look at the change that we've been seeing. Like in the past few months, the supports are usually the initiators, the tanky frontliners. But now, we can see that utility supports are coming into play in the current meta.
Yeah, gotta love these utility supports. I think Gragas and Janna have been paired so many times already since last week. So very nice to see that double disengage and as well as double protection to your Kai'Sa pick, which Zivs is going to shine in the later stages of the game. But we're seeing an Ari lock in and as well as a Vi.
Oh, I'm loving the draft so far. Right now I'm just thinking, okay, which draft am I going to side on? And it's just hard to pick right now because, both of them has the pros and cons. Like, both the Vi and the Camille can actually pick off targets, especially the squishy ones like that of the Janna. If she doesn't have her ultimate, definitely going to be a good target. Also the Kai'Sa as well. So we'll see about that. There's a lot of CC in here or engage potential coming from the side of Action PH. Meantime, lots of disengage potentials coming from Galaxy RAZER. What are your thoughts about the draft so far, Riku?
I'm loving both of them. I'm loving both of them. I suppose Action PH does have a lot of single target hold down, a lot of CC on their end. You've got the Charm, you've got 2 ults that isolate targets in the form of the Vi, and as well as the Hextech Ultimatum, and a bunch of roots. So a lot of long range, a lot of assassination potential. So this pick potential from Action PH's roster is so good. And that's the reason why when we look at Galaxy RAZER's composition, that's the reason why they have a Janna, that's the reason why they have that Gragas for that casket. And I really love this. And the fact that they last picked Fiora as well, leaving it out, just trying to sense whether or not that Camille is going to be in the jungle or maybe at the Baron lane. They're like, hey, the Vi's locked in. That means top side will be Camille. That means I'll get this Fiora versus Camille matchup. That means I'll have a comfortable laning phase.
Ooh, this is going to be very interesting. But I guess if I'm going to picking just one draft, I guess, yes, I voted or I predicted a 2-1 score in favor of Galaxy RAZER, but I guess if I'm just going to be basing on the draft, I'm loving Action PH draft in here. I love the engages, the lock-ins that they can do. 2 sources for that one, by the way. So I think this is going to be very useful, especially if we're going to be talking about number games, winning in terms of numbers. So we might expect Action PH going on to a 5-man objective take while Galaxy Racer might be going for a 4-1 rotation. Going to be trying to utilize the split push potential that the Fiora can do, but I worry about that, especially in the early stages of the game, especially because of the turret, the defense adjustments in the 4-minute game time.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to definitely change how a bunch of these teams will be less aggressive earlier on in the tower dives, just 4-man tower dive someone and try to remove that tower, chip in a little bit of that tower. But what I like about Action PH is, though, I think the panel brought it up on how Galaxy Racer Action relies heavily on Yamada at topside to sort of grow and be one of that really scary threats as the Fiora. We've seen his stats; they're really, really good. But because of the Vi and Camille jungle duo with Ikaros and Xpear, you gotta think that that's a little bit troublesome because there's only so much a Fiora can do between these two lockdown champions.
Oh yeah, that's so true. But we'll just see about that. It will still matter on the execution of these teams. They can prove us wrong, and we'll just see about that. For the meantime, again, we are going to be heading on to the game anytime soon. This is the first series for our week 2 of the group stages here at the Philippine Icon Series. We'll be your casters. I'm Keisaya. With me is Rico. Rico, I think you haven't mentioned your preferred draft in this one, or do I feel like it's really going on to the side of Action PH?
That's a good question. But first, I'd like to correct myself because I said earlier that Yamada's one of Fiora, but it's a swap. It was Ikaros that should be a little bit worried because of that Vi and Camille tandem. Yamada and AIM, they're hoping to get Yamada in a very comfortable spot, get that Camille going, and be that for real scary threat for Zivs in that Kaisa pick. And you know what? I said 2-1 Action. I'm going with the draft for Action PH.
Oh man, let's see. I'm loving the draft of Action PH as well, to be fair. So far, no one's actually starting on a 1-2-1 rotation. Seems like these teams are going on the usual, the standard ones.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of that standard. We haven't really seen the 1-3-1 as much compared to day number 1. Really good binding by Simon there.
Just a little bit of folks here and there who's gonna deny who. Everyone's just starting passive, not that much of some action, except for the top side is just trying to bait out the skills and ultimate who's gonna deny who. Basically, that's gonna be it.
Yeah, a little bit of tug of war at the top side of the map, making sure you do want to get ahead in the lane for sure for both of these duelists. Considering we've seen this two matchup time and time again. In the later stages of the game, I usually see the Fiora win over the Camille, but we'll have to see. It's Yamada this time on this Camille pick. It could go differently, considering if you add in the junglers into the composition. Spear will be on the Gragas, very scary duo as well. If we consider the roaming by JC, the potential roaming from the early game by this Aurelion Soul.
Yeah, for sure. And just to add one up, but hold a thought, there might be an action. No, not really gonna go for that. No ultimate as of yet for the Vi. But yeah, going on to the top side though, it was a free Camille first pick. So definitely if you go for the first pick, but hold a thought, we see this 1v1 happening already. Gonna go for a hook shot far away to avoid a first casualty happening onto the top side. But yeah, you're gonna get denied definitely. As you go for a first pick Camille. So normally Fiora is definitely a good champion to go 1v1 against anyone, but there might be another action in here. Onto the top side, Ikaros, what are you gonna do?
I wonder, because he has Flash, but here comes the engage.
Here comes the engage, and they're gonna go for that ultimate in here. Ikaros definitely has no way out right after that 3-man gang. And this is what we're talking about. Number games, you definitely have to utilize that in order for you to get the advantage in terms of objective, regardless of which form it is.
Yeah, definitely. Considering at this point, They do have time. They do have time. Action PH does have a little bit of time before that Drake spawns. They do have that 1 minute at least on the board. Really nice attempt on Action PH for Icaros's head over there. Managed to at least burn a flash? Not even. Burn a barrier. That's fine. Burn a barrier. And as well as get that kill on towards Icaros. And I think he has to be a little bit careful because he is a little bit advanced on the lane. So Action PH can take advantage of that. And because you brought this up earlier, Kaisaya, about the towers, they don't have to worry about severe punishment on tower takes before 4 minutes. I was deciding if I wanted to say pre 4 minutes or before 4 minutes. My brain just couldn't decide.
That's totally fine. I mean, with the patch changes every 2 weeks, we sometimes will also wonder, okay, what changes from one point to another already? But, you know, if you're really onto Wild Rift, you definitely would know. But for the meantime, Scuttler fight in here. They're just gonna be giving that away to Action PH for free. Action PH, they're currently and seemingly in shape at the moment, but of course the goal is not that far. There's no really obvious lead at this moment in time.
Yeah, not a lot of lead, as Galaxy Racer, just as you mentioned, would like to respect that Action PH did have control. They do have that vision as the Scuttler and a bunch of wards being placed, and Galaxy Racer gotta respect that. And Ziv's gotta be careful because of that pokes, considering the fact that Eiko is actually in the bottom side of the map as well. They're hoping to get a pick, burn some flashes here and there before engaging on this air drake.
It just kind of makes me realize, though, if Action PH should have just banned out the Fiora, if they're gonna be planning on to prioritizing the pick for the Camille. Now the Camille, I feel like she's having this intention on wanting to go for the dragon objective take, but then again not able to do so because we know Fiora is actually someone who's able to fast clear a particular lane if left all alone.
And I think that's what's happening right now in the mid lane too.
Ooh, in the middle lane though, this 2v1 fight is currently happening, but Yamada's just gonna be playing defensively, gonna go for the hook shot to transition just a little bit faster onto the top side. Look at the damage of Icaros onto that first turret up top, and basically Yamada not just able to help out in the 5-man fight supposedly that could have been happening just a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, since the dragon went up.
Yeah, we're not seeing the usual 5v5s. I think Action PH had an idea. They wanted to at least get a pick and then chunk a bit of that tower since it was already at the 5-minute mark. But APH didn't really get anything out of that brush, a party brush at the bottom side of the map. Therefore, GXR can be a little bit relieved, but I think they spotted out Spear on the top side of the map. That's the reason why Action is able to start the dragon.
Here we go. Will there be a steal that might happen in here? Lots of charms coming in. And here we go with a smite coming in through the Cloud Drake as well. The Monson is here to actually give some more protection at the side of Galaxy Racer. The rest of the members of Action PH quite divided though. The Camille needs to join the team fight. Aim is super low though, getting the damage coming up from the Kaisa as well. A flash in and will secure a kill in favor of Galaxy Racer, but 2 kills is gonna go onto the side of Action, and there you go. The disengage will happen, and I think we can still give that game on to Action PH since they managed to take 2 kills and at the same time was able to get the Cloud Drake.
That's true. Gotta commend Aim's positioning there. Decided to, it's okay if I trap myself inside this pit as long as the Aurelian Soul doesn't land a stun on me, because it's important that I stay safe with that smite getting locked in. And that's what happened for Aim. They managed to get and secure that first Drake for themselves, despite how they were a little bit off position because the rest of Galaxy Racer already arrived at the scene. Now, question is, will that happen again here on this Rift Herald?
Not too sure though, but as you can see, Smite available anyway. They are very confident about getting an early position, an early start on the Rift Herald, and they're going to be securing another objective for themselves on the side of Action PH. Looks like Action PH is looking so disciplined in this match.
First turret destroyed. Blue team lost a turret.
And here, though, both of them are just gonna be going for that first turret take. Not really first turret. I think the first one went to the side of Action PH, right? So there's 3 members on the top side part of the map. Them gonna be dealing a lot more damage compared to what has happened in the bot side. But this is looking like a symmetry in the minimap as of the moment. But then again, no obvious lead. As of the moment, Galaxy Racer, although losing 2 early objectives, I do believe they still will be able to manage to get a potential comeback play in terms of, you know, objective taking or positioning in the map.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to... I mean, Galaxy Racer was able to at least even out the playing field on the map. They destroyed the bottom tier turret of Action, and in exchange, Action destroyed the top side. So I think that topsy-turvy is going to help in securing more of that dragon, but APH being very aggressive.
Yes, indeed. There are 4 members eyeing on the bottling part of the map as of the moment. Gragas in here, currently in a dangerous position. A focus fire onto the turret by the Koki, and then they're gonna get it. And of course, another casualty in here. But in turn, seems like they're gonna be losing the inner turret on the top side part of the map. The Ari won't be able to do anything to save that turret, and I guess he needs to back away. No, don't chase anyone. 2, 3 members are still in there, and now you're gonna die onto the hands of the Kaisa. But an exchange, Action PH will take the first or the tier 1 turret in the middle lane of Galaxy Racer as well.
Ooh, that was dangerous, and Eiko unfortunately had to suffer the consequences as there's 3 people nearby. No need for any sort of lockdowns. The damage is just enough to just burst him down. And now GXR though had to suffer the consequences for staying at the top side. I mean, they still managed to get the tier 2 tower, but that means Yamada really has to keep an eye on that lane and try to even it out. But Dragon is out, being started by GXR.
You can see the Hextech Ultimatum as well as the Assault and Battery all available as the Final Spark will not do enough match damage, but then again, look at what Fiora has been doing. Also to stay provided by the Jada as well. The members of Action PH needs to back away just a little bit, but the Kaisa, Ikafi on range just doing some massive damage, forcing the members of Action PH to just back away. And there, look at this one, a very decisive Baron take for the side of Galaxy Racer.
I mean, it's perfect. It's the perfect setup. We were talking about how the second tier turret of Action PH getting destroyed by GXR will pay them so much, and they're able to cash in that early, but oh dear me, Yamada.
Yamada, not too sure if he'll be able to survive with the homing damage coming from the Icathian reign of the Kaisa. I don't think he'll make it out, as well as the Koki Riot's gonna get punished as well for still following that very risky positioning when you know there are actually 4 or 5 members on the side of Galaxy Racer. So somehow the early composure of Action PH seems to have lost. But yeah, oh dear, Riku in here. Look at that celestial expansion coming up from JC. It's just way too massive, and it's just covering the whole screen, the whole map. Not the whole map, but the whole screen.
I mean, with the way that we're looking at the screen, it practically covers everything. But that's scary. That's a scary thought, Kaisa. The whole map,
whole map, yeah.
I can't imagine it, and it's not pretty.
Oh, I remember.
But going back to...
I remember your dream about Jarvat. I'm so sorry. I just had to mention that. My goodness.
My goodness, indeed. But Yamada
Yamada in here, but the backup is actually incoming. Let's see what Ikaros can do. Gonna be flashing away though, still gonna be saving his life. Fortunate, quite fortunate for him. They know. I mean, they know when to jerk in, when to jerk out. So that's really good microplay coming out from Ikaros.
Definitely very good microplay, able to burn a bunch of summoner spells for Action PH there. So Ikra's doing a good job here at the top side of the map. And again, we've seen that matchup time and time again. And Fiora would usually win that.
A Sultan batter in here, but he's just taking a lot of damage coming out from the buffed minion waves as well. Gonna be trying to sandwich the rest of the members of Action PH in here. The Vi will hold down. Lots of escape provided by the Chana in here. The members of Action PH at this 30-minute game time gonna get wiped out by Galaxy Razer. Galaxy Razer able to utilize the popes, the sustain that they were able to pull off. That was Team Ace, brought to you by Operino. Galaxy Racer, just right on the spot, gonna be getting this game on.
What an